especially this time of the pandemic, that we feel so much has come and has limited us from actually achieving what we're supposed to achieve, but we are definitely going to learn that. So for all those that do not know, this masterclass, Awakening to Purpose for Progress, has been brought to you by courtesy of Agents of Progress platform. Those of us that do not know us, Agents of Progress platform is a non-governmental organization that was founded in the year 2019 by Dr. Clinton Kadochi and Mr. Mwila Bartholomeo Mambwe in the copper belts of Zambia, that is in Kitwe. So APP is actually an organization that is envisioned to be the country's leading personal transformation platform that has a mission to invest in wisdom and transformational ideas that the education system might lack. As APP, we aim at creating a more conscious and connected world by helping people to become the best version of themselves while adopting habits of moral excellence and applying initiatives in their various communities. As APP, we believe in everybody's potential and we pride in being people of value, who value people, and as well as add value to people's lives. We are indeed agents of progress. You can actually follow us on our Facebook page, that is Agents of Progress platform. And also, let me make mention to you that we have a closed WhatsApp group. This WhatsApp group is only restricted to registered members, and we get to share very exciting content. And also we get to have guest speakers from all over Africa that get to share with us very powerful information. Indeed, you are supposed to be an agent of progress. I am very excited. I hope you are excited as well. And I can see that a number of people have joined us. And let me just break down to you how the masterclass is going to be. This masterclass is a 2-weekend masterclass, and it has been divided into 4 sessions. First session, which is today, we'll have our second session tomorrow, then we'll have our 2 last sessions next weekend. So make sure you are part of each and every session, because you do not want to miss. The day you decide to miss, you just find that Doctor talked about 2 crew members. Purpose, and you might as well make sure you are part of the sessions. And at the end of the masterclass, we are definitely going to be sharing responsibility for attacks. That receive a certificate of Ethiopian province of Afar. I am personally excited about that. So those trucks that we held for weeks because of security. Please make sure your mic is muted. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So as I'm saying, this is going to be powerful masterclass. So if you're excited, I personally am very excited. If you're excited and ready to learn, you can as well just write something in the chat box to alert Doctor that people are ready to receive the powerful and insightful information, because this will be very exciting. This will be very exciting. And as I said, I hope you've positioned yourself in a place that is less distractive. We do not want to miss a thing. We do not want to miss a thing. Purpose is something that actually we should awaken to. Here's something Doctor told me. As long as you are existing, you exist for a purpose. You might not know your purpose, but you have to discover and awaken to it. Trust me, this will be very powerful. I'm very excited. So I think people have so settled in right now. I think Doctor is ready for us. Those of you that do not know Doctor, okay, his name is Dr. Clinton Kadochi. He's a Zambian, and currently he is based in China. He
right. So I'm trying to use I'm currently using two devices. I'm having some network challenges right now, but I hope this one will pull through so that as we continue, we'll be able to have a great time together. So just give me a minute to tune in with my PC. And please, every messages from WhatsApp, I'm not available. I can see a number of you sending me messages right now. I am not available on WhatsApp, please. I'm currently working now. All right, so let me.
Oh.
Please, let's ensure our mics are muted as we wait for Doctor. It seems like he's having some network problems, but I'm sure he will be able to join us very soon.
Hello, can you get me now? Hello?
Yes, we can get you, Doctor, we can.
All right, good. Can you also see the screen that I've shared? Let me just get to see that. All right, so please, when you don't get me, please inform me so that I switch to the other device so that everybody is on board. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good morning to those that are in Asia, like me, this 02 Saturday, and good evening to all those that are still in Friday.
Okay, it seems we have lost Doc again. And please, just a reminder, please reset your names on your devices. We want to know exactly who is attending. So if your name is not set, please, you can just do that.
Okay, can you see me from this other device?
Yes, we can.
This other device?
Yes, we can.
All right, that's good. Can you also see my screen? All right, that's good. Okay, that's good. All right. So we're going to continue. as I was saying, that APP centers much on what we are capable of doing as a people in contributing to the country, but much more the change has to be seen within our own personal lives. And that's what we are all about. We are about progress. We are about ensuring that we are becoming better people as days get by. That is what we are about as APP. So as I begin, I'd like to welcome each and everyone, and in welcoming each and everyone, I'd love to acknowledge most of the people on board. I'd like to acknowledge my leaders from Toastmasters. It's good to see and mentors on board. It's good to see a number of you that have come to support this master. Good to see a number of the doctors on board as well. We can see quite a number there. I won't manage to mention them all. And it's also good to see all my mentees. I think this program wouldn't be a success today if it wasn't for everything that you have been doing consistently, making sure that the ads are out there, and in just ensuring that the supportive and positive energy in the culture of APP is running. So that is very, very great. In beginning this session, I would want us to imagine something. Now, what we're going to imagine is a life without what we think we know. A life without the things that you admire about your neighbor. A life without the things that you admire on television, for example. Can you imagine that? I can give you just 5 seconds to do that. So imagine a life without the things you admire about your neighbors, the things you admire from the TV. It could be Facebook or any other social media that you use. Just imagine a life without that. Okay, the 5 seconds is up. Now, do you think you would be able to make progress if you didn't have other things that attracted you? Do you think you'd be able to make progress? Okay, so I'm assuming that you either have an answer or you are still a bit confused. But here's the thing. Everything that we do today is because we have seen something out there. Everything that we do today is because we have been able to see something better out there. And because there is something better out there, we want to also become better. We also want to do great things because there is something that we have seen out there. And that is where I'd love to begin from. The theme of this masterclass is awakening to purpose for progress. That is the theme. Now, one would ask the question, why awaken to purpose? Why not discover purpose? Now, we have for some time heard a lot of things about discovering our purpose. And everything about discovering our purpose is limited to only one area. And that is what we're going to look at today. And it is limited to what you are capable of doing, what you're capable of becoming, what you're capable of contributing. And you hear people would tell you things like, you need to know what you are good at, then practice what you're good at, and all those things. And because of that, okay, I can tell my audio, just a minute. My audio has been affected. All right, hope this is okay. Thank you. All right, and so because of that, we have become a people that want to do stuff. We simply want to do stuff without truly becoming. But today we're going to understand the importance to doing the things that we are supposed to do before we actually become. Okay, doing the things that we're supposed to do before we actually become. I'd like to begin with bringing us to the attention of every crisis that happens. And so we've had a number of crises in the whole world over the years, and every crisis has birthed to something. Every crisis has been the reason why there has been an innovation of a product, an innovation of a particular system, an innovation of things that have been able to make what we are using today possible. And because of all these things, you realize that a crisis always brings change. A crisis is something that ignites change. A crisis is something that stirs up change in us. Therefore, as we begin this 4 days, or rather 2 weekends, 4 days masterclass, there is something that I want you to do. I want you to make a promise. And this promise that you're going to make is a promise to you, not to me. It's a promise to you. And so I would want to invite each one of you to make these 3 things, to make these 3 promises rather. The first one is, I promise to remain dedicated to the 4 days of this masterclass. This is the first thing that you're going to do. You're going to make this promise to yourself. The second promise you're going to make is that you're going to commit to the change and principles that will be shared in this masterclass. That is the second thing that you're going to do. And lastly, the third thing you're going to do is that you're going to promise yourself to never remain the same. To never remain the same. All right, so 10 seconds. If you've made this promise, just raise your hand. 10 seconds. If you've made this promise, just raise your hand. Let me just see people raising their hand if you've made this promise so that we get going. Let me see people raising their hand if you've made this promise. Okay. Great. I can see a number raising their hand. Good, good. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Great. Moving on. After we've made this promise, now let's get into what we have today. Okay. Now, as I was saying that, every pandemic or every crisis, a pandemic is an example of a crisis. Every crisis ignites change. It calls for change. And there are different kinds of change. When change comes, it's an indicator that there is a particular purpose that needs to be born. There's a particular purpose that needs to be initiated. Now, everything that happens in the world is ran by people. Animals don't rule the world. People rule the world. So when we have a crisis in the world, it's an indication. It's a signal that there is something that the rulers of the world have to respond to. It's a call to responsibility. And so we've had a number of crises from 1819, 1918, and recently in 2019, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has called us out for a particular responsibility. Therefore, this call is a call to initiate purpose. But we can't understand all these things if we don't know what purpose is. And this is why today I'm going to unveil what purpose is. But as we are going to see what purpose is, it's important that we understand the one thing that everybody on earth has in common, because we all have one thing in common. We are about 7 billion plus people. And yet all these people have one thing in common. Who can guess? What is that one thing that we have? Is it breath? Is it the blood in our veins? What is it that we have in common? You will be shocked to realize that the thing that we have in common is something that we neglect. The thing that we have in common, ladies and gentlemen, is progress. Progress is the one thing that we have in common. Why do I say progress is the thing that we have in common? Because we are all a work in progress. Everybody is a work in progress. We haven't yet gotten to where we feel we want to be. We haven't yet reached a place where we would be satisfied with everything that we want. We still want more. We still want to be better. We still want to make what we do something effective. We still want to be influential. We want the next phone. We want the next car. We want the better vacation. We want the better salary. We want better grades. We always want something better. We want the next thing. But in wanting all these things, there are some important things that we have to know that matter in striving for progress. Yes, we all want to succeed, but there are times that we fail. But it's important to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is simply part of success. The opposite of success is giving up. Giving up, ladies and gentlemen, is the opposite of success. But little people, a few people rather, understand this. Giving up is the opposite to success. Therefore, if you don't give up, what do you have left with you? Progress. Progress is what we have in common, because we all have the privilege to continue to live. I always say that if we have a pulse, then we have a purpose. And if we have a purpose, then definitely there is something that needs our response. There is something that needs our attention. You and I are able to become better because we are people of progress. You may not succeed today, but you are still in progress. I don't know whose message this is for, but understand that progress is that one option that you have. Whether you are winning or not, whether you fail, you still have a chance at progress because your life is still on. Therefore, the game is still on. The opposite to success is giving up. But I hope and pray that you do not give up. Therefore, let's get into more details and understand what this progress is. Because despite your geographical location, our lives are still in progress. We are indeed a work in progress. When we talk about awakening to purpose for progress, we need to understand that we are in this generation for a purpose. The truth is, Albert Einstein is useless in this generation. Did you get that? Einstein is useless in this generation. Why? Because his purpose was in his generation. Mark Zuckerberg would be very useless in Einstein's generation. Bill Gates would be very much useless in Einstein's generation. But each and every one has a particular purpose in their current generation. This is why if you are in the waiting room, I told you to list 5 things that you are grateful for in this year. Why? Because your existence in this generation is for a purpose. You are not existing in this generation for nothing. You have a purpose. You have something to do. You are supposed to become somebody. You may not be a role model to someone. You may not be a famous person, but you have a role to play in your family, at work, maybe at school, wherever you are. Your existence is meaningful. You are a person of value. Until you realize that, a lot of people will continue to make you a casualty in their lives. Therefore, you are a person of value. And if you're a person of value, you need to understand that this generation needs you. This generation cannot fulfill everything that it needs to fulfill in full without you. Therefore, purpose is something that you need to walk into. It is something you need to be awakened to. Why am I using the word awaken and not discover? Because, of course, there are a lot of books, there's a lot of literature on the internet that talks about discovering purpose. Why am I using awakening? Listen, you were birthed by purpose. You were birthed by purpose. Your existence is proof that you are birthed by purpose. Your purpose does not start when you realize it. It does not start when you know it. It starts at the very time that you were born. A lot of people get the message or the topic on purpose very twisted because they feel it is something they're going to find. But purpose has always been with you. You need to awaken to it. Purpose has always been with you. That is why everything that you do in relation to purpose, like we are going to learn today, you realize that these things have always been part of you. Therefore, we all long for this purpose. We need to know what we're capable of doing. Let's find out what we're capable of doing. Hope we are ready. Let's find out what we're capable of doing. Now, in order for us to find out what we're truly capable of doing, we need to hint on a little bit more on progress, because progress, like I said, is something that we have in common. Progress is that thing that you and I cannot live without, because we have to continue making progress. We have to advance. We have to develop to a higher place. We have to be better. We have to advance to a better stage. And so progress is about your life pursuit of becoming. Progress is about your life journey of service. A lot of people are living life by the dictates of other men. A lot of people are living life because they have a system that has been handed over to them by their parents. They have a template that has been handed over to them by the people that have raised them. In as much as this is fine, it is important to realize that generations are different. We have the generation X, we have the generation Y, popularly known as the millennials, and we have the generation Z. The generation Z are everybody that has been born from 2000 till date. And these are people that have been raised in the technology age. And so all these generations have different attributes, if I'm to call them. They have different signatures because they are known for something. The baby boomers are very good at storytelling. This is why we love our grannies. We love to hear everything that they talk about. But if you listen to a millennial, not every millennial is good at storytelling. Millennials are too innovative. They are too into multitasking. That is why millennials are very much comfortable with early retirement and starting a business. But you will not find this trait with the Generation X, because the Generation X are people that value work. They are people that understand that for me to make a living, I need to work. These are the people that value elevation labels in life. They are the people that value promotion because they understand that life is about work. So we have all these differences. And if we don't understand these differences, we will continue to think that we are stuck in life. We'll continue to think that we are lacking behind because we don't understand that we are in a generation that demands a particular responsibility. And if we don't get that, we will not make progress. We will not make progress. All right. As I transition into what is going to be very much interesting, let me just see how many people are still listening. How many people are still listening? If you can just unmute your mic, let me just get to see if we are still here. Just unmute your mic and say something and I'll continue.
We're here.
We're still here, sir.
We are together.
All right, wonderful. Let's continue.
This is
We are still here. We are still here.
We are listening.
The measure of progress. What is the measure of progress? What is the measure of progress? All right. Can you get me? Let me wait for that one to get back.
Yes, we can, Doc.
Okay, can you get me?
Yes, we can get you.
Okay, so this other one is back. Let me see which one I should connect to. I think this one was okay. This one was okay. Let me continue with this other one. I think it was more loyal. All right. So the bigger question is, how do you measure progress? Okay, so I've tend to a slide I'm not supposed to tend to. Okay, good. All right, we're back. The big question that you should ask yourself is, what does progress look like to you? Or what does progress feel like to you? When we talk about progress, what comes to your mind? What does progress look like to you? It's important to realize these things. When you realize these things, you'll be able to make better influence. You'll be able to make a better effect in your life. But it's important when you're asking all these questions to get to the realization that progress isn't measured by material gain or popularity, because we have a lot of people that have lots of wealth and yet are not making true progress. We have a lot of people that are popular and yet they are not making progress, because true life progress is measured by purpose. True life progress is measured by purpose. Now, what do I mean? How much are you in touch with your purpose? How much of what you are doing is purpose? A number of you by now understand what your purpose is. You know what you are here on earth for. But how much are you in touch with your purpose? How much of what you do on a daily basis is in line with your purpose? For you to understand this, you need to know what purpose is. I only request one thing, and what I request is that you empty your mind of everything that you think you know about purpose. I know you may have been to a conference, a seminar, a summit, a church event where you were told what purpose is, but I still request that you just empty your mind for you to understand what I'm about to give to you, because purpose has everything to do with who you are, as we are going to find out shortly. Therefore, what is purpose? Purpose is the meaning of existence. Simple. I am not going to give you any definition that will make you feel ignorant. No. Purpose is the meaning of existence. Purpose is the reason to the existence of something. The purpose of this cup that I'm holding is to store water and for me to drink. The purpose of this remote that I'm holding is to control my AC, for example. Every purpose has got a reason. Every purpose has got a function. Therefore, we need to know what is the function, what is the reason behind purpose. When we're talking about a person's purpose, we need to understand that a person's purpose operates on 5 networks. Just as we have the 5G that is currently trending, and we know what networks are for. Networks are about connection. They bring together life. Just as right now, I'm having a hard time with the network on my PC, but then I'm using my phone and the network on my phone is working. But then you realize that the purpose of networks is to connect devices, to connect us to the internet and all those things. But the purpose of a human being, purpose of you and I, lies in these 5 networks. I call them the 5C networks of purpose. The 5C networks of purpose, just as we have the 5G. If you're going to get anything from this class, I want you to get these 5 things. Number 1, the center. What is the center of your life? What is the center of your life? The center of the human being life is based on faith. Now, faith is something that every person, despite the person's religion, everyone has something that they have faith in. whether you are a Christian or not a Christian, you all have something you have your faith in. The Christians, we have our faith in God. We have our faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. The Muslims have their faith in Allah, but they rest their faith on Muhammad and all this. And every other religion, Buddhists, everyone has their faith in something. The atheists as well have their faith in something, the universe. Even people here in China who do not believe in a God, but believe in themselves, they have their faith in themselves. This is why some 2 years ago, there was a scandal that happened here where this guy, he was actually a foreigner. He was in love with a Chinese girl, and later on, he decided to dump her. But when she was dumped, she was so heartbroken that she called out guys to beat this guy up and cut off his manhood in the open. And they did that. Why? Because their faith is placed in themselves. Their faith is not placed in any superior being. And so each and every person has a center. And what do we do with our center? This center helps us to stay in touch with our inner self. A number of other scientists would talk about our conscious and meditation issues and staying in touch with your inner being or the wheel of life and all these other different languages, which basically speak of the same thing, because we are all in search of God one way or the other in different religions. So your center is about your faith. But what do you do with your faith? There are 3 things that you do with your faith. You're writing down, you can list this. You study your faith. You practice your faith. And lastly, you teach or preach your faith. These are the 3 things you do with your faith. And your faith is what determines what will be of the next C. The next C is character. Your purpose is based on your character. Your purpose reveals your character. Your purpose is about your character as well, because character is everything. Have you heard of the statement that beauty may get you a marriage, but character will get you out of marriage? That is very true, because we are all distinguished by our habits. We are all distinguished by our attitudes. And later on, should be on the last day, I'm going to talk about the diseases of attitudes. There are a number of things that you should be doing by now that you are not doing because you don't have strength of character. There are a number of relationships that you should be building in networking and becoming a better person, but you don't have a strength of character. Because of that, you suspect everybody that is good to you. Because of that, you suspect everybody that is kind to you. Not everybody that is kind to you is trying to flirt with you. If you always think that you have a strength of character deficiency, you need to understand this, what I am calling connectivity quotient. Just as we have EQ and IQ, we also have CQ. CQ is about what we, how we relate with our connections. And so your character is very much important. If you have a weak character, you will not survive in the corporate world. If you have a weak character, you will be insecure in everything that you do. So it is important that you understand that part of your purpose is character. Today we have leaders that are interested in doing and accumulating things, and they have a weak character. That is why they have greed. Greed comes from a weak character. And so we are going to see all these things as we continue on the 3rd and last day. The 3rd C is community. Your purpose is about community as well. Community is about your communion, your companionship, your networks, your relations, your family. And so if you see this hierarchy, you realize that your center is supposed to be connected to your character, and then your character is supposed to be connected to your community. No man is an island. Even introverts can be people persons. No man is an island. Even introverts can be people persons. You will realize that there is always a stage in life where you will need self-reliance. There is always a stage in life where you will need interdependence. It is good to be independent, but it is wise to be interdependent. Yes, when we are growing up, we are dependent, but there's a time that we need to be independent. And then after being independent, we need to be interdependent. And it is because of our community. What community do you have? When you are offline for 2 days, do you have people that communicate to you to ask what is wrong? A number of people don't have community and they are lacking in this area of purpose. Every human being needs these 5 C's, and community is an important aspect. People are depressed and having suicidal thoughts because they lack community. And this is important. We need to understand that you need community. Community is about your family, it's about your network, it's about your relationships. There's something that has been very interesting during this COVID-19 period. If you were once hospitalized or you knew people that were in the COVID centers, you will realize that fans did not visit, okay? Role models did not visit. Even mentors maybe did not visit. Coaches did not visit. The people that you upload on your social media and celebrate did not visit. The people that are there were family. This is why it's important to stay in touch with your family, to stay in touch with people. They may not be your blood family, but also people that you can rely on. Community is important and it reveals purpose. The 4th thing, my time is moving. The 4th C is contribution. Now, this is the most abused C in the aspect of purpose. It is abused. Why? Because contribution is about what you are doing, what you're giving out. And this is why we have lots of books talking about purpose limited to contribution. When you ask somebody, how can you find your purpose? Everybody wants to talk about contribution. It's about what you can do. It's about the talent that you have. It's about the gift that you have. It's about the skill that you have. Yes, that is true. But if your contribution is lacking a center, if your contribution is lacking character, if your contribution is lacking community, you are literally running on low gas. We're going to see a typical purpose network bar on the next slide soon. And so contribution is important. In contribution, there are a number of things we're going to learn. I'll teach that tomorrow. The number of things that we're going to see in contribution. Contribution is about service. It's about what you're capable of doing. It's about what people will know you for. And so we have Bill Gates, who is the reason why we are using our computers, because of this software and everything that he has contributed to the computer industry. He has contributed something and we are benefiting. Now we have a common question that most people ask. And this question is, can non-believers, especially in the Christian circles, can non-believers have or live purpose? Or do non-believers live purpose? And you hear a lot of clergy Spirit-filled Christians. No. Because they have to be born again. This. There are 5 C to purpose. What non-believers operate on is something that is very natural, which is the contribution aspect. Contribution is actually part, I would say it is the lowest level of purpose accomplishment, because what you contribute remains on earth. It does not matter much to where you go. Let me not preach. But it's important for you to understand that contribution is important, but it is not everything about purpose. Therefore, when we're talking about purpose, don't limit your mentality to skills, talents, gifts, and everything that you're capable of doing. That is good, yes, but they are irrelevant without character. They are irrelevant without the center. That is why, sorry, I'm going to talk about Bill Gates again. That is why people like Bill Gates recently had a divorce. Why? Character, community. They are lacking in these areas. They are lacking in the center as well, in the actual true center. They are lacking character. And so they've invested much on contribution, but lacking on the essence, center, character, community. These things will hold your purpose better and well, and not only contributions. You are able to make a change in the world. That is good. But what about where you are going after death? Destiny is not literally on earth. Destiny is after death. Death is the access door to your destiny. Will you go to hell or to heaven? These two are your destiny. Therefore, death is the access door to your destiny. Center, character, community, very important. Contribution, I'll talk much about that tomorrow. Let's move on to the 5 and the last thing. Communication, another abused C in the 5C networks of purpose. Communication. Every person needs to communicate. And this one is abused much by the church, because we have a message as a church. I'm a preacher, I'm a teacher, I understand much of these things. So I'm not just saying because I'm trying to pick on the church or anything. But when it comes to communication, you need to understand that there is an important thing that our lives do, and our lives communicate, our lives preach, our lives send a message. Therefore, when it comes to purpose, we are not just living life anyhow. Our life is communicated. This is where you realize that the mess that you went through can become your message. What happened to you that a number of people may think, oh, that was shameful? You can build on that and communicate a message. Mission purpose is under communication, because your life is communicated. An example or an example that I can give is Joyce Meyer. If you all know Joyce Meyer. Joyce Meyer was raped, abused sexually, growing up as a teenager by her father, and her father slept with her more than 200 times. This is what she said in an interview. Her father abused her sexually, or rather raped her. I think raped her would be the right word. He raped her more than 200 times in her teenage years. But she uses that mess as a message for women that have been struggling with sexual abuse. And so you realize that your communication is about what your life has been about, what the experiences you've gone through, your personality, in general, everything that you are going through is communicating something. Purpose is all these things. When we'll be looking at character, I'll also give you the reason why you should not envy people. The reason why you cannot be me is because I have a different personality and I have different experiences in life, different upbringing. And because of all these things, what I'm able to contribute, the character that I'm able to have would be different from yours. And this is why you should not compare yourself with other people, because what I'm capable of doing is based on my personality. What you are capable of doing is based on your personality. The problems that I have in life are based on my personality. In fact, problems are attracted by personalities. Even the devil attacks us based on our personality. You realize that what is your weakness can be my strength. We are different. There is no reason at your age to compete with another person. We have different purposes and different personalities. This is why you need to focus on your life. You need to focus on your life. You need to focus on these 5 C's: center, character, community, contribution, communication. Now, if you are growing in these 5, then you are making progress. Your progress in life is solely based on these 5 things. If you are growing in these 5 things, then you are making progress. Your career comes in under contribution. So if you are making progress in all these things, that is your progress. Your progress is not about the new car that you have bought. It's not about the mansion. It's not about your next vacation. It's about the center. Are you growing in faith? Are you growing in character? Are you growing in community? Are you growing in your contribution? Are you growing in your communication? If you are growing in these 5 things, then you are making progress. Therefore, let's awaken to progress. Let's awaken to purpose, Let's awaken to purpose. Let's tune into the network of these 5 C's and begin to live life on purpose and begin to make progress, because progress is not about material things. Progress is not about popularity. Progress is about purpose. Are you growing in your purpose? Let's look at a typical purpose network frequency that a lot of people are living by today. A lot of people are not living by a 5C network. They are living by a 4C network. And in this 4C network, only 2 are active, because everybody wants to do something. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Everybody wants to be seen. And so one network that we are seeing there, like I said, the most abused is contribution. Everybody wants to do something so that people may applaud. And so that is the one network bar that you can see there. The other network bar that most people try to play around in is either communication or community. But a few people are living on center. A few people are living on character. We have a lot of greed in our nations because we lack the strength of character. We are lacking the full frequency of our purpose. But if we understand that your effectiveness in life is determined by the strength of your 5C network, you will become a different person. And this is what I want for each and every one of you on board, that you should awaken to purpose, realize and take advantage of the 5C network of purpose and begin to grow in them. As you grow in them, then you make progress. In conclusion, a man is known by what he does. You are not what you say you will do. You are what you do. You are not what you tell others that you plan to do. You are exactly what you do. Therefore, if you're not doing something about your desires, you are who you are. Everything that you are is what you are. If you don't do something, you are not that thing. All right, we'll end here. Let me hand it over to our moderator to invite in questions, and we'll have to continue tomorrow.
Wow, that was very powerful. Indeed, I'm awakened. I've never felt awakened like this. That was very, very powerful. So at this moment of time, those that have questions, that have contributions, anything that you're not clear about, and you want Doctor to clarify, please, you can just raise your hand and the platform will be given to you. Any questions? Okay, so I can see there's some contribution here in the chat box. Abigail says, why Bill Gates aren't Minutes Act considered contributions? Okay, Doctor, are you with us?
Oh, I was on mute. Yes, I am here. I am here. What is the question again?
So Abigail is asking, she's asking why Bill Gates aren't Minutes Act considered contributions?
I don't get the question well, but let me answer the why Bill Gates. But I don't get the question well. Let me answer the why Bill Gates. If she's still on the call, maybe she can clarify her question. But why Bill Gates? Because he was, of course, once the richest man. Is no longer the richest man on earth. He was once the richest man on earth, and his marriage had a reputation that everybody was admiring. And if you read the news during their divorce, you realize that a lot of people were disappointed by the fact that Bill Gates was actually in most of those scandals that we later on found that he was in. And it raised a lot of questions, and most people made a lot of memes. And in all that, one thing that I noticed is that a lot of people believed in this man, and they did not expect the things that were brought out. So why Bill Gates? He is an icon and a figure that everybody was looking up to, and because of his generous act alone. But I was bringing in him as a case study or as an example, so that we get to see that all those things that were reviewed about him were because he rather lacks or was lacking in strength of character.
Okay, so here's what Felistas is saying. Well said, we should never imitate others. We should get inspiration from others and aspire for our good. Annette is saying, oftentimes we imitate others and force ourselves to fit in their shoes simply because we do not know our purpose. We ought to discover themselves first. One ought to discover themselves first. Nelly is saying, I'm rest assured that I am not remaining the same after this encounter. Definitely, I'm also not sure the same for you. Thank you very much, Doc. That was said. And Moses is saying, wow, it feels like we just started a few years ago and it has to end now. But here's a question from Diana. Diana, is there such a thing as awakening to your purpose?
Okay, good question. Good question. So here's one thing that I've come to realize when it comes to the issue of purpose. So like I said that purpose has always been part of your life. The time you were born, your purpose began. Your purpose does not begin when you realize it. No, okay? And there's nowhere, be it in the Bible or any other guide that we use in life, that tells us that significance in life begins when you think you begin to do the things that are right. Purpose began when you were born. Therefore, we should end that mentality of thinking that your relevance in life begins when you discover your purpose or when you awaken to your purpose. That is not when your relevance begins. Your relevance began right when you were born. The issue of thinking that when you now discover your purpose, that is when your life begins, has made a lot of people be very discontent with life. It has made a lot of people to be depressed when they think they are not doing what they feel they should be doing. But your purpose began when you were born. So you need to awaken to it so that you should work on that effective frequency that I'm talking about. You need to awaken to it so that your life may be effective in the 5 C's. The main reason you need to awaken to your purpose is so that you have fulfillment, satisfaction, and meaning in life, because these 5 C's are what will give us satisfaction, fulfillment, and meaning in life. A lot of people are searching for these things and they're calling them happiness. Okay, we're searching for all these things, and we don't understand that it is the 5 C's that give us satisfaction, fulfillment, and meaning. So there is no such thing as awakening to your purpose late. You just need to begin to work on these 5 C's. I'm going to show you how well you are going to do that in this very masterclass. So don't worry about that. Just make sure you begin to work on your center, your faith, your character, that comes from the outside. It could be from material gain, it could be from people. Therefore, you cannot necessarily limit your happiness to yourself, because people will still be the reason why you will be happy. Your contribution will still be the reason why you'll be happy. Your community will still be the reason why you'll be happy. The fact that you are doing something in the lives of others will still be the reason why you will be happy. Your service to others will still be the reason why you're happy. So you can't necessarily limit that happiness to yourself, because on your own, you cannot truly be happy. You can have joy, yes, but on your own, you cannot truly be happy. You can be happy for some hours, or a day or two, but life, the essence of life in itself, will require that you are around people, because it is the people around you that will help you to work on your insecurities. It's the people around you that will help you to work on your meekness, because meekness is not weakness. Meekness is strength under control. When you want to have that outburst, but then you choose not to and you control yourself, that is meekness. But you'll not be able to work on all these other things if you are alone or keeping those acts of kindness to yourself. Okay.
Okay, is Abraham still with us? I saw you have your voice. Abraham. Okay, any other questions that you might have for Doctor? Well, I think that's
all right. All right. So before we end our meeting, just a request. Please kindly turn on your videos. We just want to have a group photo to just, you know, screenshot and keep it in our records. Just turn on your videos, if you may, so that we get a photo of everybody present. I think that would be great. Just turn on. Okay, I can see that. All right, how many have managed to do that? Okay, let's keep doing that. Let's keep doing that. Let's keep doing that. Let's have more. Let's have more. Let's have more people. Let's have more people. Let's have more people. Good. 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 Mara, can I have the phone? Just want to take. Photo. Okay. Awesome. Kindly give us some smiles. Give us some smiles. Good. Great. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Over to you, my wonderful moderator. You've been great. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. Allow me to say that was really, really a very impactful session. I'm sure I have already even fulfilled my third promise that I made, that I will never be